Welcome to my YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to analyze some very important things that were mentioned by the lady in front of us. She's called Linda Ndungu. She's the country manager for Bolt. I watched her interview on Spice FM Live. If you want, you can go there on YouTube. There is a video that she did there for over 20 minutes, and it is a very, very educative video. Probably I may not say that I'm supporting whatever she said, but I think by just watching what she was talking about, it will shed so much light. So I collected a few points that she talked about, and that is what I wanted us to go through in this video. Just have a quick review and analysis, so that you guys can have more information, and probably you can even drop your comments and give us your thought. So because when you go on TV, when I do these videos, when she went live so that people can watch, so that people can interpret what she is saying. And so in my responsibility as an educator in this business, I'm trying just to interpret a few points, and then you can tell me what you think. So let us listen.
This is what the minimum fare should be, so that then when we add on the additional components, the driver is actually going to make sufficient earnings. Sufficient. It's a very deliberate choice. Yeah. Very interesting, that word.
So there she has spoken about sufficient earnings. And you can see that even the interviewer has emphasized on the word sufficient. The country manager of Bolt has emphasized on the word sufficient. So when you become a taxi driver, you can only make sufficient income. Sufficient means what? It's for you to interpret. But when it is used in a statement, it simply means that you only get enough. Okay? And I have told you this so many times. If you want to get into this business to make hundreds of thousands, probably this is not the right job for you. Even in their pricing strategy, it is priced in a way that you cannot make a wealth out of this business. You can probably take a number of years for you to grow your wealth, but from a single trip, from a single day, from maybe a single month, you can only make enough to pay for your bills and only maybe make some savings of small amount of money. So that is directly from the country manager, and I think this is very, very important for everyone to note that this is not a business of quick money. It's just enough for you to keep going. Let us listen to the next point.
It's a free platform, right? We don't employ drivers. Drivers come and work with us if and when they want as a driver.
She has said it is a free platform. Drivers come and work with us if and when they want. Very, very strong statement. Why should drivers complain if they are not happy with Bolt or Uber or any other platform? She says that Bolt is not an employer. They partner with willing drivers if and when they want. If you feel like you don't want to do, you are driving on Bolt platform, they are saying, go on, work with someone else, or don't work with us if you don't want. So it's not like a person who has given you a job is not a person who has given you an employment contract. They tell you, if you want to work with us, come. If you don't want to work under our terms, you are free to go somewhere else. Very strong statements. The next one, please.
But if my car is not mine, it's your car. You're telling me every day, Linda, I don't care. You need to give me 1,000 shillings. Then, out of the money I made every day, I have to give you 1,000 shillings and fuel Ndungu. All right. And depending on, how we agree, you might also tell me if the tire bursts, by the way, Pia will replace your tire. So those are the things that sometimes cause the noise.
Thank you very much. Another very important point. She has said that they have evidence, they have statistics that people who drive their own cars can make 70, 80, 90,000 shillings per month. And they have realized among those who drive their own cars, not many of them complain. But the problem comes in if you are driving someone else's car and that someone does not care whether there is business or there is no business. Then they are saying, at the end of the day, you have to pay me 1,000 shillings, you have to pay me 1,500 shillings, whether there is work or not. And she says that is where the problem comes in, because the way the pricing and the business model of Bolt and other ride-hailing platform was designed is for people to drive their own cars. So if that car has intermediaries, then revenue has to be shared. And when it is shared and people don't understand that they are sharing, the small cake among all the intermediaries, then the problem comes up. And that's very, very well recognized here. And if you watch the full interview, she is recommending anyone who gets in there, get to figure out how you will own your own car, so that you don't have to share the small amount of money you make with someone else. And by so doing, probably in the long term, you can, from the just enough money you make, can help you to grow to another level. So that point is that make sure that you have your own car. They have the numbers that if you drive somebody else's car, then you will complain. The next point. Okay.
Take less. It's really not possible to do business with less than 18%. Just looking at all the operational costs, because it's a tech platform. There's a lot of tech that goes behind it. There's a lot of people that have to run the tech. There are a lot of, me's. We have to keep the lights on. So if we think about it from a business perspective, we cannot even break even. You get the most out of it.
You get the point? If you are there and praying that one day Bolt will take less than 18% commission, they have said it is impossible. If anything forces them to take less than 18% commission from the drivers earning from every trip, they might be forced to close their shops. They have said breaking even with less than 18% commission is a no-go zone. So if you are a driver, if you want to get into this space as a driver, that will be the reality, at least for now and in the near future. They are not going to take less than 18%. For every 100 bob you make, they are going to take 18 shillings from every 100 shillings that the Bolt driver will make. That is their position. So if you are coming in, if you cannot give them your 18%, then please, they are saying you can choose not to work with them if you are not willing to work under those kind of terms. The next one.
Unfortunate reality is we do have a portion of drivers that are unhappy. Okay. It's a smaller portion of drivers. And it's not to say we don't care about them. We care about all our driver partners. But, when I look at the numbers, it's a small portion of drivers that are unhappy. And they do make a lot of noise. And my actually primary concern is that now it's at the level where they're making it difficult for other drivers. So that we're very concerned about.
So
our app, the different car.
In that last comment, she has said that they are very much aware that there is a small percentage of drivers who are so much unhappy for the various reasons that they have, she has explained, like people who are driving other people's car, people who got into the business without understanding what do they need to put into the business for it to work. There are people who get into this taxi business with only the idea of what am I going to get out of this business? What am I going to earn from that trip? How much am I going to make per day? But they never asked themselves, what am I supposed to give into that business for it to work for me? So a lot of drivers who never got to answer that question before they get into the business, most probably they get themselves to complain. And she says that it is now becoming a bit concerning because the few drivers who complain so much, to some extent right now, they are making it impossible for the many who are willing to work not to do their work as they wish. In the last 2 months, there have been so many protests. A lot of drivers who refused to join the protest, of course, they faced a lot of challenges, including myself. You get harassed, your car get vandalized, it gets, the tires get punctured by those few drivers who are unhappy with the platform. So she's saying that right now the concern is that how do they handle these unhappy drivers, because they are making work impossible for those happy to continue their job. So my video for today was just to give you a highlight understanding of what she talked about. In my view, it completely makes a lot of sense. And you know, this business was not made for drivers. It was made by the owners of this company, of course, as an entrepreneurial venture. So they needed to make money for themselves, for the shareholders, for their employees, for everyone. And as they solve, you know, the ecosystem problems that exist in the transportation sector. And by solving that problem, of course, they needed the partnership with drivers and other people. So, and of course, he also mentioned something else that is very, very important. Even as who are employed, we are always looking forward to an opportunity to ask for more money from our employers. Anytime you feel like you have done 3 years without a contract review, if you have, you know, overperformed in a certain period, then you feel like, should I approach my employer and tell him to give me more money? And you like want 2 times, 3 times, 100 times if possible. So it's normal that anyone working in this sector would like more money. But of course, it is their responsibility to make sure that anything that they put there as a pricing works for everyone. You know, it works for the riders, it is affordable. Of course, for the drivers, the income is sufficient. And also for them, they are able to cater for their own bills. So I don't support, you know, this video does not mean that I endorse Bolt or anything else, but honestly, I find a lot of sense in what she said. So you can go to Spice FM YouTube channel and try to watch that video. I find it very, very, very informative if you want to get, you know, a wider scope of what it entails to become an Uber driver, a Bolt driver, not only what you get, but what you have to put for you to get what you expect.